Hi, this is Minister Sarah with Glitter on God. Today, I want to just talk to you guys about my testimony. I think it's great to hear people's stories about how they actually came to know God, and how they were able to come to Him and start a very serious walk and relationship with God. Because you can believe in God and you can trust in God and have faith, but there's something amazing about Him breaking down every part of you in order to make you His. And that's kind of what happened with me. I was spinning out of control. I had some of my own personal health issues going on, and I was on some very serious medicine for it. I was in a very, very abusive and trying marriage, and there were some kids involved as well. So it was just kind of getting out of hand. I found myself at work, trying to hold on and seeing if I had days off so I could take time off to try to get myself together. And I couldn't even really have clear thoughts because my brain was just completely clouded with all of the things that I was going through. I was essentially fighting for my life, fighting for my marriage, fighting for my children, normalcy. It was a mess. And in my spinning out of control, I just didn't know what to do. So one evening, I was leaving out of the house and I fell in the parking lot of where I was living, and I broke my leg. And when I broke my leg, I completely broke the bone in half. It required me to have major surgery on my leg, and it required me to sit down. I firmly believe that God sat me down that day, and He made me sit down and literally just took everything from me from that moment on. Obviously, I lost my mobility, and I had to rely on my oldest daughter, to help me with that. And then, it caused a lot of problems in my already estranged marriage. So, one of the main reasons that me and my estranged spouse were arguing was over a vehicle, because he wanted to be able to come and go as he pleased, but we only had one car, and it was my car. So he did everything he could to throw a fit to try to take my car anytime that he wanted to. So when that situation with my leg occurred, I was in the hospital, and as a result of me being in shock and in pain from the actual surgery of the leg, I had a heart attack. So I was prolonged in the hospital. I was in there for very many days. So when I came home, I couldn't walk, and my daughter was helping me. And then my estranged spouse and I were arguing continually. And then one morning he came in and he said, "The car is gone." And this was the car that we were arguing over. This was the biggest thing that we had a problem with. We were already separated at this point, but the biggest problem that we had in communication was that car. So the car was just gone, and there was no way for us to get it back. So that was the first thing that the Lord took from me. And then the children that I had, aside from my oldest daughter, were foster children, and they ended up going back to their biological mother. And so now here I am. I can't walk, can't go to work, I don't have a car. The kids are gone. The only thing I have left is my oldest daughter. Because I didn't have a car, my estranged spouse didn't want anything to do with me anymore. He still harassed me here and there, but it was clear and evident that he didn't want anything else to do with me. So God really just sat me down and started to deal with me, and I could feel a change in my life happening. I started to feel things like a loss of the emotion and a loss of the pain that I had gone through throughout the abusiveness of that marriage and that situation. And I could really feel things just literally being stripped away from me. And it was an amazing feeling. And I continued to study the Word, and I started ministry school, and I just embedded myself in that time that I was out of work in the Word and in Bible studies and in my schoolwork, and every aspect of my life became about God, and it was like the only thing I had left. And I firmly believe that that is what he wanted. He wanted me to only have him so that I would be able to know him and know his love. And I had a whole lot of feelings of, why is this happening to me? Why am I not good enough throughout the marriage? Why can I not make this marriage work? Why doesn't this person love me? And all of those things began to go away. I no longer was asking why. I no longer was wondering why I wasn't good enough. I knew that I was good enough, and I knew that God wasn't doing this to me. He was doing this for me. Oftentimes we get caught up in situations where we just continually do what we want to do, and we keep saying, okay, well, if I hear from God, then I'll make a change. But we're so caught up in confusion sometimes that we don't hear God. God doesn't work in confusion. So if you are full of confusion, full of drama, and there's just so much in your life going on, God can't work in a situation like that. And oftentimes we won't hear God speaking to us because we are not listening to God in the first place. So that is exactly what was going on in my life. And I just praise God that I am in the situation that I'm in now. I went through the healing process. I was told I wasn't going to be able to go back to work for 6 or 7 months and be able to walk normal. I went back to work 2 months later. I went to the doctor. Doctor did x-rays, and he said, somebody is really looking out for you because your leg is healed and you look like you're about 5 months out from surgery. So I just, everything just fell into place. Then I came back to work, and I was reliant upon somebody to take me to and from work. And that's okay because we were friends, and, she was helping me out, and we worked in the same place. But, obviously I wanted to be able to have my own independence. Okay. So, luckily my dad decided that he was going to help me by giving me his car. Obviously I got to pay for it, but, he gave me his car. I took over the payments. He got his own car. So that helped me out. And then I came back to work full time. I was able to walk. I was able to move from my residence to a new residence. I was able to get out of that marriage. I was able to find God, become a minister. It just all fell into place. And sometimes you hear people say, what God takes away from you, he'll give back to you in abundance. And my God, he did. He definitely did. Everything that he took away from me, I got back. All the good things I got back, but better, in a clearer mind, in a clearer place, without the drama, without the pain, without the suffering. I just thank God. And the love that I feel from the Lord is unlike any other love that I've ever felt. I look at myself now in the mirror, and I see just a light around me that is just so beautiful, and it's from the Lord. It's only love that comes from the Lord. So, that's my testimony as it is. And that's one of many, because I believe we all have little, small testimonies, but there's just that one thing that really just takes a hold to you in your life and pulls you back to the Lord. And that's mine, and I just thank God for really just taking me and ordering my steps, literally, and bringing me to him and showing me the love that I've never known. The love that I was not receiving in that marriage that I wanted so badly was waiting in the Lord. And once I found it, it was just like there was no other reason for me to not walk with the Lord, so I just praise God for that. And I really hope that that is something that I can help other people do. I want to take that abusive situation and use it for God. I say sometimes, I have allowed people to use me throughout my life for their good. And now I want to allow God to use me for my good. So that is my main reason for becoming a minister. I want to be able to lead people to the Lord. I want people to know that love, because it is the most amazing feeling, and unlike any other love that you've ever known. So that's my putting glitter on God for the day. Just wanted to share my testimony with you guys, and really just tell you how great God is and how I was able to come to know him as my everything. So this is Minister Sarah, putting glitter on God.